And now we are here with the KDA Gods versus 2 Hero. So right now we're going to go ahead and get straight into bans. We have a Lee Sin ban coming out for the KDA Gods and a Twisted Fate for 2 Hero, followed by a Lulu for KDA Gods. So it looks like Lulu's being a pretty consistent ban in this tournament.
So far as part of the stream, I don't think we have seen her not banned at all. She's definitely a force to be reckoned with, and people are aware of that.
Right. So it's kind of interesting to see everyone agreeing that she's that big of a threat in terms of team comps. Looks like they banned a Gangplank. That must be a target ban.
Yeah. It's looking like 2 Heroes team is looking to ban out more global presence champions like TF who can teleport in and Gangplank who can ult from anywhere.
Right. And it looks like they're banning on the KDA Gods a bunch of pretty much utility type of characters. Kennen with his AoE massive ult, Lulu with her shields and slows, and Lee Sin with his maneuverability and pretty much playmaking potential. You can kind of see that there's some fairly important stuff that everyone wants to get out of the way. And looks like the first pick for the KDA Gods is going to be Zach.
Yeah, Zach always looks like definitely a very powerful, confident pick. Not much that I can think that straight up counters his ability to just jump on in there and get bouncing.
Right. And it's also kind of interesting. This might be the last time we get to see Zach with his current ult. We know he's supposed to be scheduled for rework, just like Maokai and Sejuani. So we'll have to see. We'll get this last little hurrah in for Zach as he goes ahead and gets picked for this game. Looks like 2 Heroes going to go ahead and pick their first 2 champions. We got a
Talia. Interesting. Haven't seen that be picked so far this tournament, I believe.
Right. That's actually kind of interesting. I'm glad that we got a chance to see her in this if they go ahead and pick her. They picked Darius for top, and they went ahead and picked Talia. Okay.
Yeah. She definitely has a lot of good presence, especially in CC-oriented comps. Even with the Darius, there's a natural synergy there. By her putting down her Floor of Rocks and Darius just dragging him through to do even more damage.
Right.
It just sets up the playing field for a CC-oriented comp.
And the next pick for the KDA Gods were actually Karthus and Caitlyn. Which is actually kind of interesting, and it kind of goes along with the theme that you brought up earlier about trying to get rid of global presence throughout the game. Imagine if there was a Karthus and a Gangplank on the same team.
That's just terrifying because it's guaranteed that if the Gangplank can see you, he can aim that ult. It's pretty big. And then Karthus, I don't know, that's a pretty hard skill shot to land, I've heard, though.
Right, fair enough. So it looks like 2 Hero went ahead and picked Braum and Elise, leaving their ADC to still be picked. So we'll see what they decide to round out their team comp with. Right now, it looks like KDA Gods, though, they look like they're gonna go ahead and pick Tom Kench and Alawi.
You know, the KDA Gods, they're actually picking a very AP oriented with 4 out of 5 members being AP based, which is very interesting to see. Also, that's a Karthus jungle. Oh.
I'm not sure about that yet.
I remember Karthus jungle used to be a pretty strong thing. It used to be a thing, you can say.
But I'm assuming that the Zac and the Karthus might be switching. Karthus was pretty much being picked later because they didn't necessarily know who they were going against. So it looks like Alawi's going to be going top, Zac is going to be going jungle, Karthus is going to be going mid, Caitlyn and Tom Kench. Looks like they're moving around now. And that's going to be Talia versus Karthus. That's going to be a new match I haven't seen in a while. Darius versus Alawi, I'm not going to lie, that's going to be more towards Alawi in all honesty.
Darius is definitely not going to be making any calamari up there.
No. You don't use axe, or you don't use axes to, hunt for octopus or octopi, I guess. Elise and Zac, they're pretty much. It's going to be depending on who actually can do something effectively in the early game, I think. Whoever's the most effective jungler in the early game is going to end up winning that matchup, I think. And Caitlyn and Tom versus Draven and Braum.
Yeah.
It could go either way.
Yeah. What I'll have to say, though, about the jungle is that Elise does fall off late game pretty hard. Zach will continue to have his presence throughout, I believe. His early game obviously be weaker. Elise's early game ganking presence is one of the strongest in the game by far.
So that's what I'm saying. If Elise can make things happen in the early game, I think there will be more than they won't have any problems in terms of getting through to the mid and possibly ending the game then. But if Zach is the one who goes ahead and takes things first, it might go to mid or late game if 2Hero ever expects to try and get a win out of that.
Absolutely.
So, also, Tom. We haven't seen too much Tom Kench lately either.
Yeah, no TK really that much. I mean, again, they definitely were banning against them. They did their research because even though they banned out 2 global champions, they still picked up another 2. So they're definitely gunning for that global alt comp here, where they just have the presence everywhere. Just that kind of annoyance of being hey, we can be hitting you here, and we can be bringing Tom Kench with another person at the same time.
Right. Another item of interest, though, is that the 2 KDA Gods actually seems to have a 4-man front line. With Tom, Alawi, and Zach all being in the Tom, Alawi, Zach, and Karthus all being in the front, Caitlyn is pretty much going to be either left to fend for herself, or she's going to pretty much be untouchable, depending on how they maneuver around in team fights. Elise has a chance to possibly get around some gaps to try and get to her, but right now, unless Talia goes ahead and ults and separates the team out, it's going to be really difficult to get to Caitlyn.
Yeah, I agree. Something to be said, though, it's probably a good idea to build this very beefy front line, because I believe in the interview with 2Hero and in the game with 2Hero, the last one, actually he scored the first pentakill of the tournament with his Caitlyn.
Yeah. So that was probably why KDA Gods actually picked up Caitlyn, in all honesty, to keep that from happening again. But Draven is still pretty terrifying, especially combined with the Braum.
Yeah, just that ability to have a stunned person with the Braum passive is just perfect for Draven, able to swing the maxes and keep getting his gold.
Right. So, and plus, it looks like, now that I think about it, there's an even amount of global alts.
Yeah, actually.
So it looks like both teams might have had a little bit of that in mind. There was a little more of a team fight disruption going on with KDA Gods bans, and it looks like, of course, like we said earlier, it was a global ban on 2Heroes side, but it looks like they kind of have the same idea going into this a little bit. At least the team comps kind of match each other a little bit.
Yeah, definitely some good synergy seen, like we said earlier, with the Draven and the Braum being a good synergy, the Talia and the Darius also another good synergy. But on the KDA Gods team, actually, Zach and Alawi is a crazy good synergy, because you just make a pit, basically, with the Alawi swinging her tentacles and the Zach just bouncing around.
Right.
And it does a lot of damage really fast.
Right. I say that, Zach tends to be one of those champions you're not really sure. You feel like you should be able to take him down quickly, but after a while, you start to notice something's not necessarily right, and by then it's almost too late going into the game to try and fix the solution or find the solution to that problem. So it's going to be up to 2Hero to be aware of what's going on around them. Otherwise, it's not going to go great. And wow. Okay, so I think this Karthus has a plan. This Karthus definitely has a plan, and I think that at least kind of knows what they're doing.
Yeah, running that Death Power Touch. Also, nice to see there's 2 teleports on KDA God's team.
Right.
Keep that Zach alive when he goes into his passive.
Yeah. I hope they don't do that. That's very cheesy.
Yeah, very cheesy, but sometimes it just turns out to work very well.
Very true. Actually, now that I think about it, with Karthus, if he goes ahead and teleports to a Zach in the middle of a team fight, even if he still has his abilities up, that means he's still doing damage, even though he's not necessarily moving and he's keeping Zach alive. So yeah, that actually might be what their plan is for that situation as it comes up.
Yeah, precisely.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start this all off. We have this angry orange Zach, And we also have this Victorious Elise. I haven't seen that skin in a long time, actually.
Yeah, it's just a really nice skin, I think. I wish I got it. Yeah, not that good, though.
Yeah, neither was I.
Single tier.
You say, but I got that Maokai.
Yeah. I didn't get that one, but I got the Meowkai, so I'm okay with that.
All right, it looks like we have a little bit of maneuvering around bottom. Looks like actually...
Very passive starts, but both teams are orientating more towards that red side jungle, where they're maybe looking to get some early deep wards in there. KDA God's definitely taking that very defensive position, not offering them a lot of vision to see if somebody wards or not, because they do not have good vision of inside the red buff, nor do they have good vision of the river.
Right. So that, in all honesty, they could be getting flanked and they would never know it. That's not really a good position, in my mind, to wait to see if the enemy team is going to go ahead and invade.
Yeah.
Because, in all honesty, you need to be able to see where these guys are coming from if they're coming. And like I said, they could be pinched, or they could get flanked and essentially pinch or struck right there.
Yeah.
And the only one who would definitely get out is Zach. Caitlyn might be able to get out if she hasn't necessarily taken an ability yet, which she already did, so that's not going to work out for her either. So, yeah, that's dangerous. For all the viewers who are watching, never pick an ability until you go to your actual lane, because you never know who might decide to try and come through and murder you, and you never know if you might need to pick an ability that you normally wouldn't pick in lane to get yourself out of that.
Exactly. Yeah, so Alawi Darius, that lane definitely interesting. Alawi having more of the ranged effects and the sustain actually to keep up with the Darius in case she does get engaged on.
Right. I say very, like I said, as an Alawi player, I feel like that matchup has pretty much been predetermined. Alawi's going to win it, but like I said, in previous matches and previous games, it comes down to patience. Darius needs to be patient in this situation. Alawi's obviously going to go ahead and have the capacity to pretty much break him if he tries to go in on her at a bad time. Or if stuff like this happens where she goes ahead and grabs his soul or his spirit out.
Yeah, and he just came up there and honestly took even more damage by getting himself caught into a tentacle.
Right. Whenever you're fighting against...
Elise going for them early game. Could have gatched Karthus there. He might have to burn Flash for this.
He is going to have to, but
it's
it doesn't.
Not enough.
It was definitely not worth. Elise goes ahead and helps Talia get her first kill of the match 3 minutes in. Two Hero definitely coming out swinging.
Talia, like, if you can get that character down, she just does so much damage by being able to move people through that rock floor to do even more damage. Yes,
it allows you to be incredibly creative with your moves, and it pretty much makes people if you can take advantage of people's positioning. And positioning is one of those things that a lot of people don't necessarily think of when they play these games. That's kind of like why people kind of hate Teemo. He takes advantage of the fact that if you aren't paying attention to the ground you're stepping on, and if you're thinking that you can pretty much go wherever you need to, you're not going to do a good job, or you're not going to have a good time.
Yeah, the strongest pick against the Teemo definitely would be like picking up that sweeping lens, so you can go along and see the shrooms well before you'd step on them.
Right. But at the same time, a good Teemo knows that predictability is the thing that you want to fight against. So again, you kind of have to think a little bit more outside the box and think a little bit about your positioning when you're playing against champions like that. And Talia is definitely a champion like that.
Yeah, looking like a little bit of a skirmish up in the top lane, causing Alawi to have to burn Flash there to avoid any further aggression from the Elise and the Darius.
Okay, so it looks like they're fighting a little bit in bot lane, but between Tom and Caitlyn and... Oh, we got another fight here. It looks like... I don't know. It's kind of dangerous. And it looks like Alawi goes ahead and goes down to the Darius. Again, Darius was patient, was able to take advantage of the Elise gank. And Two Heroes starting out pretty good, I think. This is really nice.
Yeah, definitely a solid way to start the match. Oh, Zach, missing the jump right there onto the Draven. Barely.
And he took quite a bit of damage on his way out. He could have tried to stick with those guys for a little bit longer, but he would definitely have been stunned. So it's good to see that. Good to see that he at least was able to get out of that, but he needs to kind of make sure he hits his skill shots, as we've been seeing with a few of our junglers today, that the nerves might be getting to him.
Yeah, in a lot of cases where lanes are like going strictly even or behind sometimes, like it's the jungler's job to sometimes make that difference that makes the lane shift in their team's favor.
Right. Also, you noticed Elise has already started off being a little more useful for her team in the early game. Zach has got to start figuring out what he can do to start to move things back into his direction.
It looks like there might be a dive going down here for members.
And
blocking
the
him from
wall.
the tower. Nowhere to go right now until that Talia wall is down. Caitlyn gonna bounce over the wall, and they're actually gonna be able to get out of there barely.
I'm gonna say, lucky she had that 90 caliber net, because that definitely wasn't gonna end well for her. Tom also saved her life there just a little bit.
Yeah. Definitely a very strong early engage and aggression and just show of confidence made by 2Hero right there, saying, yeah, we're like level 5 and 6, but we're going to dive you on tower as soon as we have our 6.
Right. So I'm actually kind of impressed that Talia went and did that quickly. It was almost like as soon as she knew she hit 6, that was what her plan was. So good job on 2Hero for actually having a fairly well thought out plan going into this. Okay, so there is an Earth Dragon. I feel like blue team probably needs that.
Yeah.
A little bit more than red team, just because their damage output is going to be heavily dependent on Caitlyn and Karthus. So a little more damage to help take objectives would definitely be really helpful. But, and I don't, oh, whoa, how did she miss that?
Yeah, a little bit late there, I think. Darius just sidestepping it right before she casted it.
Oh, anyway, considering looks like KDA gods are not necessarily super damage based, they're more tanky than anything else. It might benefit them a little bit if they were to able to, get some Earth Dragons so they could help actually take objectives.
Yes.
So we'll see if they actually go that route. It looks like it might be a while before that actually happens, because I think that both teams won't actually approach that dragon until a gank occurs and that lane is essentially cleaned out.
Yeah.
Right now, Draven, though, I don't know how many stacks he necessarily had, but he had quite a few at this point. So let's
take a look actually and see how many stacks he's up to. It's up to 18 stacks right now at his current.
That can't be. He has 70 CS. He's been catching axes this whole time.
Yeah, unless I'm reading that wrong. Interesting.
All right then. It's 190.
Oh, it's 190? It's just not displaying right? I see.
Yeah, the 3 numbers kind of show up weird, because I've seen that every now and again with the Nasus, so kind of odd. But that's just how it is. But that also means Elise needs to take herself down there to help Draven out right now. He has quite a few stacks. Getting a kill right now on Draven would essentially put him, if getting to late game was essentially the moon, and it looks like Darius is not having a good time here. He's probably about to die here.
Yeah. Oh, again, on the bot lane, actually, red team going to go in and take down Tom Kench, too, going 1-for-1 trades here.
Uh-oh, and it looks like
Talia
is going to die here. Oh, and she does. Karthus goes ahead and gets that kill. But yeah, they got to get that kill for Draven. That's way too much money that he's just kind of sitting on.
And it looks like that 2Hero is looking to pick up that dragon to even the score with Talia going down here. Karthus saying, maybe I don't want to have this happen. Zach gonna come in though, gonna knock up the 80 carry there.
And Karthus goes ahead and goes down.
See if he can get some stuff going on here. Oh, he
Nope.
gets the ult off. That's gonna be able to push them far away from the dragon.
Ooh, good thing he kept that heal, huh? But it looks like Draven has the same curse that every other Draven has, where he just can't get that kill.
Yep.
Just never can get that kill.
Yeah, it'll be funny to see if the Braum just gets all the kills. No stacks for Draven.
I'm gonna say sometimes it feels like that.
Yeah, it looks like KDA gods are actually going to take the dragon off Karthus, valiantly dying and then ulting.
Right. I'm saying that was a good job on their part. Like I said earlier, KDA gods are definitely going to need a little more power behind them taking objectives, just because there isn't supposed to be all that much power behind who they have. So good job on taking that Earth Drake. It looks like the next one's going to be Cloud. And in terms of Cloud Dragon helping to balance out a specific team's composition, I would hope that the red team actually makes an active push to go get this one. They don't really have all that much mobility. You have Zach, Caitlyn, and Tom, which essentially is everyone being able to move, because Karthus doesn't need to move. He just needs to ult. And Alawi is kind of doing Alawi things.
She gonna get? Oh, what? Oh, Talia though gonna come in. Is she gonna get her? What was that? Oh my god.
That hurt.
Jeez.
Well then,
yeah. I got no words for that.
Like I said, Alawi's gonna win that lane.
a bit. Yeah, Draven and Elise being totally confident, thinking they can just come in and get Alawi. Thing is, she's got her ult now.
Yeah, she has her ult, and she started Black Cleaver. So that means every hit is going to lower defense and do more damage over time. So, yeah, that... Never underestimate the defensive capability of an Alawi. 1v2s are not necessarily beneficial for you. It might take an entire team early on to actually stop her.
Yeah, but even then, I mean, the more people you have around Alawi, the more tentacles she gets to off her ult. I mean, the more tentacles, the merrier for her. She's not doing less damage because of it.
Pretty much.
Uh-oh. Karthus looking in a pretty hard spot right here. Ooh, is he gonna... Nope.
Nope, he will not be able to finish her off. So it looks like they're going to go ahead and... it looks like someone was pinging for Zach. Draven's trying to figure out whether or not he wants to actually go in, but it's not doing enough.
Yeah, definitely bot and mid lane are going very even in kills. I will say, though, that the Elise is taking up the large kill percentage of 2 hero right now, which might be hurting the laners, especially that Draven, who still has not gotten a kill.
Yeah.
He's 118 CS, so that's definitely hurting him.
I say, but once he gets that first kill, he's, like I said, he might outright be able to buy a high tier damage item immediately after that. So we'll have to see whether or not. Is this? And the Tom barely saves this Caitlyn. But if Draven throws the ult down, will he throw the ult down?
He's got no mana.
Oh no! All right. Well, at least they might be able to get tower from all that. Darius is taking a little bit of damage there, but it doesn't look like too much more is going to happen. And Zach comes through. He's trying to fight Darius, but Darius goes ahead and backs out. He gets out of that completely, and it looks like now blue team or KDA Gods goes ahead and gets that top turret. First turret, of course, goes to 2 hero in the bot lane, but it looks like we have a trade on top and bottom.
Yeah, Karthus looking like he's having some trouble getting close to Talia. Yeah, Talia being able to get you from really far away and then get really close enough in your face and then just do tons of DPS.
So Zach goes to clear out a ward, and it looks like Elise is clearing out red buff. bot lane is pushing towards the KDA God side, while top is pushing towards 2 Hero, and mid it's pretty even. But it is not even in terms of CS. Karthus is running around like 145 CS versus Talia's 107. He currently has a 5k gold lead over her. Looks like it's going to be good for KDA Gods to go ahead and get this Rift Herald, though. So nice job picking up that objective for them. It's probably going to go to Alawi at this point because she's pretty much wrecking everything that she sees.
Yeah.
So that's not a good sign for Darius. And it looks like he's actually about to be. Oh no, he wasn't. He's perfectly fine where he was.
Yeah.
But
this tournament is definitely looking to be dictated by which top laner gets fed the most. Honestly, the top laner has been sort of the quintessential piece of every team comp we've seen so far, especially with the Renekton, and again here with the Alawi.
Right. So, and it looks like Alawi's going ahead and she built her Mercurial treads. Yeah, Merc treads.
Magic resist boots, I call them.
Pretty much. And now it looks like she's building some attack damage along with Ruby Crystal. I think she's probably going for a Phage. From the Phage, I honestly don't know what she's planning on building. It might be a Frozen Mallet. It might be an Infinity Edge, but that seems like that might not necessarily work out.
Actually, she built into the Germ's Fist.
Okay. That makes a little more sense. So that means that she's going.
Ooh, 3 members going to go on Zach here. He does have passes, I believe. He's going to get his ult off here, and he's going to flash out. Draven going to ult here. He's going to pop the passive. Teleport. There it is. He's going to go down anyway to the Elise, unfortunately. But it looks like she has red buff procced on her and is taking lots of damage. Karth is all going to come down. It is not enough. Oh, Talia gonna.
And she takes all of Draven's stacks.
Oh no.
I mean, not all of them, but he had so many built up.
That's 150 CS of stacks right there.
But yeah, Alawi. While Alawi is pretty difficult to kill, turrets always beat Alawi. Always.
Yep, that tends to happen.
Yeah.
Also now, both teams losing or have lost 1 and 2 members of their teams, and the Air Drake is live.
Okay, so it looks like I said, red team or 2 Heroes should definitely go for that. And it looks like they actually are either making a motion towards it or trying. Yeah,
2 Heroes just straight up going for it. There is no vision control for KDA Gods on this Drake. But I think they know it's happening.
Well, at least Tom is coming up to try and ward it, I think. But by the time he gets there, it won't matter.
Yep.
And Zach was there too, but he was going to get his red buff. So that works out for everyone to some degree, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But no, that poor Draven going from 150 CS and losing all those stacks that he's worked for.
Yeah, let's see what he's at now, actually. He is at 190. Come on, let me pick you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's at least 190, which meant he was at least almost at 400.
Yeah. Which, I mean, how long ago was the last time we checked? That had to be over 5 minutes ago.
Right.
So another 5 minutes of work is going to have to be done for Draven here if he wants to get back up there to the 400 stacks.
Right. Although he's doing really great in terms of getting assists. Like, he's definitely throwing damage out, and he's definitely being rewarded for that. But
yeah,
Dravens always want that kill. Like that's what it comes down to. You want that kill. You want to get that benefit, that massive money benefit. Like I said before, if he gets that kill, it might be pretty much an item advantage over Caitlyn at this point. So,
because Draven stacks are equal to gold for how much they get when they cash in, right? Or is it more?
It's worth 2 times.
Yeah, I mean, that's almost like, that's well over what a BF sword is, and once he's going to be at 400, I mean, he's got IE probably like right there.
Right. So we'll have to see if his team is able to get that taken care of before he dies again, because that's such a waste of money. If you have the opportunity to be able to do that, you gotta do it.
Just remember, kids, it's the small-term investments, not the long-term. Otherwise, you die like Draven and lose all your stacks.
Pretty much.
Yep.
All right, so we're at 20 minutes, so let's go ahead and do a quick game summary. Right now, 2 Hero is ahead of KDA Gods by a little bit over maybe 600 gold, so it's a fairly even match right now. In terms of positions, it looks like Alawi has a pretty substantial advantage over over Darius with a 1.3 K gold difference. Elise has a 1K gold difference over Zach. It looks like Karthus is up by almost 700 gold over Talia. And it looks like there's a 1,200 gold in tilt towards Draven and bot lane, along with a, what is that, 700 gold difference with
Talia going to get engaged
Tom.
on here. Does she have flash? She does not have flash on cooldown yet, and she's going to go down. Tom Kench having to flash over the wall. He's going to be able to pop the shield. Yes, he is, but Darius has got his passive on him. He's going to
And he gets the kill, and
oh wait, Draven finally got it. There we go, cashing in the stacks finally.
he's at 2,400 gold right now.
Ooh, that shield barely saved Braum right there.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked there.
Yeah, that face of the mountain just getting him out of there.
Oh, and Zach comes from the bleachers.
My.
And he pretty much does his job, and unfortunately Caitlyn dies and Darius dunks Zach.
Meanwhile, Alawi's just going to try to go for their base, it looks like.
Which is honestly a good move on her part. She can only do things if she's allowed to set up, and it looks like Karthus is going to be able to kill, but he kills Draven, but Tom goes ahead and smites Darius.
Yeah, the two brothers of Noxus going down right there to Karthus.
So that's fairly good. That's fairly good on KDA Gods in terms of trying to turn that back around. In fact, they were able to turn it around so much that now they actually have that advantage. So that's really good.
Yeah.
Also, I see quite a bit of vision for 2 Hero in terms of the map. So if KDA Gods expects to keep their current situation going for them, they probably, just saying, might need to get rid of some of that vision. And it looks like they're starting to make motions to do that.
Absolutely. It looks like we're going to have a dragon spawning here in a little bit over a minute, and both teams trying to set up the ward control over that dragon. Pushing the lanes out, trying to add that extra pressure, so it makes it even harder for 2 Hero to get on that Drake without losing lane pressure.
And I mean, that, although I do have to admit, that would be a good idea if the dragon was actually up, but dragon's not up yet. I understand why they probably want to be around there, but it doesn't really seem like there's too much action going on until that dragon comes. So you guys should probably expect a fight within the next few minutes, because that's probably what's about to happen here.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are organizing around mid lane. Yeah, looking at this, both teams are definitely trying to keep with the minion wave and are intent on keeping this push on both sides. Karthus just going way out there, a little bit risky in my opinion. No one there to back him up. KDA Gods are completely spotted out by wards. 2 Hero has that place completely warded up and knows exactly where every member of KDA Gods are.
Pretty much.
Drake is live now too as well. You got a little wall of Caitlyn traps there too.
Yeah, but she's blocking the wrong side, I think. She should have tried to block the direct path from River.
Yeah.
Because coming down that side path probably will keep kids from going in on.
It looks like Tower's going to be traded for Dragon. Talia there, you saw ulted off River, so they could not have the chance to even protect the tower.
Yeah, that was actually really good use of her ult in my mind for that.
But are they going for Baron?
No, it looks like they're all rotating top towards the top tower, and they're going to try and take that, which honestly makes a lot of sense because it's much more difficult to keep the top tower going than any of the other lanes for that matter.
Yeah, it looks like definitely going to see a fight be queued up here. Talia taking 2 tower shots there, though.
I'm saying probably not the best, but...
Yeah, 2 Hero doesn't look like they want to pick a fight, though. They're just kind of moving around the map and just trying to take objectives as they can. Just definitely working for them now, being able to pick up a tower and KDA God's blue buff.
You're saying now Draven's going ahead and farming stuff. He went ahead and took that red buff. You're saying now it looks like KDA Gods is trying to figure out what they want to do next. Like there isn't too much that they can actually do, just because Dragon's gone and pretty much the entire jungle is cleared out.
Yeah.
So that means that they need to figure out something because idle time is not necessarily something they want to have on their hands in terms of this matchup.
Yeah, utilizing like every second of the game, trying to get all the CS you can and secure vision over the entire map is it's essential.
All right, so it looks like they're starting to form up a little bit. There may be a few team fights about to occur. Talia is currently in bottom, but we all know that she can quickly ult and get right back to the team as it is fighting.
Absolutely. Zach's setting up to go in. Talia's going to cut off the blue team, though. Zach being able to just eke out of there. You shall not pass.
Pretty much. That was well beyond luck. So it looks like there's quite a bit of siege going on to Hero at their mid inner tower. Looks like they probably should be able to take this tower though.
Everyone there getting caught by the Draven ult.
You say not sure why people line up like that when they know they have a person that has skill shots that kind of go through the first target. But
yeah, I know. Maybe they're thinking, well, it's weaker the more things it hits, right?
that only works for one person.
Really sucks if you're on the front end of the Draven ult then. Yeah, they're both definitely being very passive and careful about picking fights because I think both teams know with how even the game is, the next team fight will probably decide the course of the rest of the game.
Very much so.
Like, gold is almost exactly the same with only a K gold lead going to KDA Gods.
And not even by all that much, just 1.1k gold. So it's still anyone's match, especially considering the kills are 10 to 11. Gold is 46.7k gold versus 45.77 gold. And right now there are 4 towers down for KDA Gods and only 2 for 2 Hero.
Ooh, looks like Zach's looking to go in here. He definitely wants it. They've wanted this team fight for the longest time, but it looks like it's going to be full disengage from 2 Hero. Wow, they just don't want a team fight. Like, they've backed off like every single time and not gone in.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what that's all about.
Yeah, they're lucky to like get out of there with as many team members as they have. It's surprising at this point. Uh-oh. Draven trying to give the Talia just like that heal there, but Karth is coming down and saying nope.
That I feel like that hurt me.
Yeah.
Like in the end, they tried so hard,
but it didn't even matter.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that Baron just being torn apart easily with no contest from 2 Hero.
So that's the power of Earth Dragon.
Just that objectives, they melt.
Pretty much. Okay, so it looks like 2 two heroes trying to figure out what their next move is. Right now, Baron's gone,
Yeah.
and Caitlyn's just doing her thing in bot lane, trying to get that CS.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually Talia got hit that hard. She is building some magic resist item. She's got the null magic mantle, the magic resist boots. Does Marl Namicon give magic resist too, or
No.
does not? Okay, I think that might have been the old one, like old. I feel old. Yeah, and it looks like we have. What is this dragon actually going to be here? Looks like we're going to be having another Earth Drake for what's looking to be KDA Gods with the way they are setting up around it, getting that ward control and pushing bot lane in farther. But it does draw the aggro of 2-0 over and the attention over now that they know that A, a tower's down, and B, there's a dragon live.
Right.
But they might not be wanting to team fight knowing the lead that Baron buff does give. Yeah. The 2-0 doesn't like try to pick fights with the team like when they have like an equal advantage. Like when that Baron buff's gone, they need to start picking fights and trying to pick people off. Otherwise, this game is going to snowball away from them.
Right. I'd say, but I mean, even I kind of feel like there's still a low chance of that happening. If anything, that's going to be like the worst case scenario, and that can even be considered one of the better cases.
Zach going in, at least having to use her repel to get out of there. There comes the Draven. Oh, Karth is going deep. He wants blood. Draven going to get pushed out of the way, going to go down there to the Tom Kench. Zach going further in with his ult, bouncing people up in the air. Tom Kench, the only support he's going to find there. Going to pop his passive. Teleport?
Okay, then. They're really using that teleport idea.
Yep, and there is going to be Draven. The question is, are they going to be able to push in, probably? I'm going to guess yes. With the Baron buff, the minions, as well as their Baron buff, they are going to... And the 3 Earth Drakes, they're going to just melt them towers.
Pretty much. And it looks like this is about to end right now. It looks like KDA Gods are going to go ahead and take that victory. It has been a pleasure watching them do their work. So, with that, if I were to give an MVP trophy to a player in this game, it would have to be Alawi. Just because she definitely made it so that the jungler felt completely comfortable going to a different lane. Had she died maybe a few times earlier, there wouldn't have been as much pressure on other lanes being placed as it just would have been too much effort. So I got to congratulate her, especially against the 2v1 and keeping herself alive. So
yeah, that just left me speechless right there. I mean, there's not much to say after something like that happens where it doesn't look like it's a contest and the Alawi just comes down and smacks both champions away.
Right. So, I say, again, congratulations to the KDA Gods. They will be moving on to our next match, which I believe is a best of 3.
Yep, we will be moving on to the best of 3 matches now for the rest of the tournament, I believe.
Yep. All right. So, with that, we'd like to thank you all for watching that game, and we'll be back in a little while with our next game that will be a best of 3 on stream.